But we're going to be talking about Halloween, and every single year I see videos, I see articles and conversations about if Christians should celebrate Halloween or not. I honestly don't understand the debate. I don't understand why it's even a question, to be honest. If you've ever seen my testimony, then you know that I came out of witchcraft. And to me, I remember witches laughing, literally laughing at Christians for celebrating Halloween. Because to them, they would say that they are more devoted to their goddess, than Christians are to God. Because they're basically cheating on their God, which honestly, that's what the Bible indicates to us, is to have anything to do with the occult in any way is spiritual adultery. The Bible tells us that those things are an abomination to God. Why would anyone even question if a Christian should celebrate Halloween if those things are an abomination to God? The Bible tells us to separate ourselves from those things and have nothing to do with it. That's literally what it says. Have nothing to do with it. Expose it. Have nothing to do with it. Why would people debate this every year? Let's just go over the main symbols people think of when they think of Halloween. Probably the number one symbol that comes to my mind is the jack-o'-lantern. Do I think there's anything wrong with pumpkins and fall? No. I love fall. Fall is my favorite season because it's beautiful. I love the falling leaves. I love the warm days, the cool nights, the crisp mornings. I think fall is beautiful. It's my favorite. There's nothing wrong with fall or pumpkins in general. But when you put a face on them and put a candle in it, that is representative of something that's been around for ages. And people don't even realize what that represents. What it does represent is the Druids taught the Celts how to put coal inside of squash and other things. It later turned into pumpkins, but I'm just going to make this very quick. They would carve faces in it and put coals in it to burn, to light up the face. And if that was put on your door, on your porch, the people didn't do it themselves. The Druids would put them on people's doors or porches. And it represented that a virgin sacrifice was required of that home. And if that virgin was not produced, someone, or if not all, in that home would die. If that was put on your porch, that is what it represented. Human sacrifice and death. Just a common symbol of Halloween. Usually that symbol is a witch on a broom flying across the full moon. And that is representative of Wiccans. That's a very highly holy day for Wiccans and Satanists as well. And they do these practices at night. And for many of them, it's through the entire month of October, but mostly on Halloween. And that's, I'm not going to go into details, but the witch's hat The symbol, the pointed hat, that is a symbol of somebody who is wearing that hat is recognized as somebody who has knowledge in magical arts. That is what the pointed hat means. They're knowledgeable of magical arts. The broom that the witch is riding, there are actual spells and rituals. Okay, this is actual footage of witches using brooms during a ritual inside a circle. It is a very highly sexualized holiday for witches, and the symbol of the broom. And it is a symbol of astral projection or spirit travel. The cauldron, you see the witch's cauldron, that is a symbol of magic, spells, and potions. The black cat, that is a symbol of a witch's familiar. They believe that evil spirits are capable of entering these animals and being somewhat of a guide to them. And yeah, just to keep it simple, that is a witch's familiar. A cat inhabited by a familiar spirit that would help guide her and aid her. Skeletons and bones, that is, all of these are ancient symbols and very well known by witches and Satanists. The bones are representative of the burning of the sacrificial bodies, the human and animal sacrifices. And also, Wiccans believe that there is power in a human skeleton, in the bones of a person. And a lot of times, even on Halloween night, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of times on Halloween night, graves are dug up, bones are stolen from graves, and witches will go to graveyards and lay on gravesides because the power and energy that you supposedly get from the bones and skeletons of humans is powerful. Let's see what else. Ghosts. We see lots of, Halloween decorations. You always see ghosts. That is representative of the spirit world and demonic forces that because they believe that the veil that separates the physical from the spiritual is very thin on that night. It's the new year, so that's why it would be, the veil is thinner, and communication with the dead would be easier. So that is what the ghosts represent. It is the night of and celebration of the dead, death. These are just a few things. Anton LaVey, the founder of the Satanic Church, said that he is happy that Christians allow their children to worship the devil at least one night every year. And that is how it is viewed by them and witches. It has nothing to do with God. For me personally, because of what I came out of, when I see Christians, especially leadership, churches, pastors, youth leaders, that not only have church harvest parties and things on Halloween, but especially when they allow it in their home, under their roof, knowing what it is, it's not of God. If you can tell me one thing, how it represents God, there's nothing. There's nothing. I really have very little trust in leadership, Christian leadership, that allows that allows it in their church or in their home, especially in their home, because it's opening the door to whatever wants to come in. Why did you allow your children to dress up like that? And I am guilty of that. I just want to say, when my children were young, I took them trick-or-treating. I was not living for the Lord at that time. I deeply regret doing it. And I knew it then. I knew it was wrong then. I knew it was. Because deep inside, nobody has to tell you. That people have been saying this for years, decades. But Christians still waver on it. It is spiritual adultery. That's what it is. If you're dressing like that, what are you dressing like? What is it that you're depicting? Didn't God tell us to be imitators of good and not evil? Churches and church leaderships, pastors, youth pastors, I would guarantee that there's hundreds of thousands of people out there that question those pastors, question those churches and those youth pastors inside, because it's not of God. I mean, there's no way to make it of God. There's just no way. It's time to get off the fence. You have to pick one side or the other. And if Halloween is that worth it to you, then that's up to you. Nobody, if people were going to listen, they would have listened to people talking about it. People who, like me, have came out of it and told you the truth, but you didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to believe it. They've been saying it for decades. So my saying something is probably going to go on deaf ears as well. But at least I've said it. My grandma always used to say she didn't want on Judgment Day, she didn't want anybody pointing their finger at her and saying she knew and she didn't tell me. So you probably already knew it, but I did what the Lord told me to, and I'm telling you that nothing about Halloween is of God. Nothing. Not the innocent little pumpkins, not the little witch's hat, the cute little cartoon ghost. Nothing.
Awaken, Israel.